అందరికీ నమస్కారం. మీరు వింటున్నారు ప్రవాసాంధ్రుల గుండె చప్పుడు తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో. నేను మీ ఆర్జే సంహిత. అమృతం కార్యక్రమానికి మీ అందరికీ స్వాగతం, సుస్వాగతం. ముందుగా ఈ రోజు పుట్టినరోజు, పెళ్లి రోజు జరుపుకుంటున్న వారికి నా తరపున, తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో తరపున పుట్టినరోజు, పెళ్లి రోజు శుభాకాంక్షలు. తెలుగుదనాన్ని భావితరాలకు అందించాలనే ఆశతో ఈ రోజు మనం శ్రావణ మాసం సందర్భంగా భక్తి భావ భరితం శ్రావణ లక్ష్మి సుపూజితం అనే ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమాన్ని జరుపుకుంటున్నాం. ఈ ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమానికి మిమ్మల్ని ఆహ్వానించడానికి చాలా ఆనందంగా ఉంది. మరి మీరు మాతో మీ కీర్తనలు పంచుకోవాలన్నా, మాట్లాడాలి అనుకున్నా, మీ అభినందనలు తెలియజేయాలనుకున్నా మీరు కాల్ చేయాల్సిన నంబర్లు: భారతదేశం నుంచి అయితే 970-522-2005, అమెరికా నుంచి అయితే 919-701-2005, యూకే నుంచి అయితే 115-888-2005, లేదా ఇతర దేశాల వారు స్కైప్ లో తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో ద్వారా కూడా కనెక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు. ఓం గణేశాయ నమః. ఓం అస్మద్ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ శ్రావణ మాసం శుభాకాంక్షలు. శ్రావణ మాసం వచ్చేసింది అంటే మనమందరం ఎంతో ఉత్సాహంగా, ఆనందంగా శ్రావణ సోమవారాలు, శ్రావణ మంగళవార వ్రతాలు, శ్రావణ శుక్రవారాల లక్ష్మీ పూజలు, వరలక్ష్మి వ్రతాలు, నాగుల చవితి, కృష్ణాష్టమి మరియు రాఖీ పండుగని చేసుకుంటాం. నేను ఇప్పుడు నాకెంతో ఇష్టమైన శ్రీవరలక్ష్మి కృతిని మీకు వినిపిస్తాను. శ్రీవరలక్ష్మి నమస్తుభ్యం వసుప్రదే. శ్రీవరలక్ష్మి నమస్తుభ్యం వసుప్రదే. శ్రీసారసపదే రసపదే సపదే పదే పదే. శ్రీవరలక్ష్మి నమస్తుభ్యం వసుప్రదే. శ్రీసారసపదే రసపదే సపదే పదే పదే. శ్రీవరలక్ష్మి నమస్తుభ్యం. భావజ జనక ప్రాణవల్లభే సువనభే. భావజ జనక ప్రాణవల్లభే సువనభే. భానుకోటి సమాన ప్రభే భక్త సులభే. సేవక జన పాలిన్యే శ్రుత పంకజ మాలిన్యే. కేవల గుణశాలిన్యే కేశవ కేళిన్యే. సేవక జన పాలిన్యే శ్రుత పంకజ మాలిన్యే. కేవల గుణశాలిన్యే కేశవ కేళిన్యే. శ్రీవరలక్ష్మి నమస్తుభ్యం వసుప్రదే. శ్రీసారసపదే రసపదే సపదే పదే పదే. శ్రీవరలక్ష్మి నమస్తుభ్యం. శ్రావణ పౌర్ణమి పూర్వాస్త శుక్రవారే. చారుమతి ప్రభృతిభిః పూజితా కారే. దేవాది గురు గుహ సమర్పిత మణిమయ హారే. తేన జన సంరక్షణ నిపుణ కనకధారే. భావనా భేద చతురే భారతీ సన్నుతవరే కైవల్య వితరణ పరే కాంక్షిత ఫల ప్రదే శ్రీవరలక్ష్మీ నమస్తుభ్యం వసుప్రదే శ్రీ సారసపదే రసపదే సపదే పదే పదే శ్రీ వరలక్ష్మీ నమస్తుభ్యం. మరి ఇప్పుడు మన ముఖ్య అతిథి ప్రణవ్ ప్రవీణ్ ని ఆహ్వానించే ముందు ప్రణవ్ అన్న గురించి కొన్ని పరిచయ వాక్యాలు. ప్రణవ్ అన్న హ్యూస్టన్ లో నివసిస్తున్నారు. 12th గ్రేడ్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా కంప్లీట్ చేసి కాలేజ్ లోకి అడుగు పెడుతున్నారు. బోత్ ఇండియన్ అండ్ వెస్టర్న్ వయలిన్ వాయించడంలో దిట్ట. ఎన్నో కాన్సర్ట్స్ మరియు కాంపిటీషన్స్ లో పాల్గొంటూ బహుమతులు ప్రశంసలు పొందుతున్నారు. ప్రణవ్ అన్నని అమృతం కార్యక్రమానికి సాదరంగా ఆహ్వానిస్తున్నాము. నమస్కారం ప్రణవ్ అన్న, బాగున్నారా? ఆర్ యు ఆన్ ద లైన్?
Namaste everyone, my name is Pranav Praveen.
నమస్కారం అన్న, అమృతం కార్యక్రమానికి స్వాగతం. హౌ ఆర్ యు?
I'm doing very, very well. It's a wonderful day here in Houston.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for coming to the Amritam Karikramam. We are very, very honored to have you here.
Thank you.
మరి ముందుగా అన్న, మాకు వైలిన్ మీద ఒక చక్కటి కృతి మీరు వినిపిస్తారా? Can you play a wonderful kruti for us on the violin?
Absolutely. So I can start today by playing an invocatory Varnam piece. This is one of the most well-known Varnams in Carnatic music, composed in Vasanta Ragam, Ninnu Kodi.
Yes, please go ahead. Wow, that was truly so melodious, so nice. Thank you so much. You gave such a blessed start to this program. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, Pranavanna, meeku mundu oka question. How did your interest in music start, and at what age did you start to delve into the world of music? Can you tell us more about your musical journey?
Sure. So I started in the world of music back when I was around 6 years old. At that time, I was in the U.S. state of Oregon, in a little town called Corvallis. And there we were planning to host a music concert in a small hall in Corvallis. And the star performer was violinist Sri Anantanadayogi. And so my father and I, we were kind of responsible for kind of setting up the hall and making sure the arrangements were ready for that day. And the concert day came and we listened to the concert. And I still remember at that very young age, so enthralled by the music coming from the musicians there. And I think just out of impulse, as my father tells me, I really just wanted to play the violin and learn how to play the violin. So actually, my very first guru was in fact Sri Anantanadayogi. He's the student of Sri Lalgudi G.J.R. Krishnan and, of course, the famed maestro Sri Lalgudi Jayaraman sir himself. And it was such a blessing for me for Sri Anantanadayogi sir to not only come to the U.S., but to come particularly to my city. And I'm very, very blessed to have him as my very first guru.
That is truly amazing. I can also relate to the experience of being inspired by such great music. I first listened to music when I heard my brother learning it, and so that's how I got into music. That's truly amazing. Thank you, Pranavanna. Well, could you play another song for us on the violin?
Sure. So my current guru is Sri Mahesh Iyer, and he's based here in Houston. And one of the things that I really appreciate about him is that he knows how to delve into the deep parts of a song and tell us what are the specific things we should be watching out for or understanding in a piece of music. So we all know the very popular ragam Hamsadvani. And one of the most popular pieces that musicians play in the ragam Hamsadvani is Vatapi Ganapatim. But my guru, in contrast to Vatapi, he has taught me a very special song composed by the composer Tulasi Vanam. And it's a very rare composition, but it also highlights a lot of the similarities between his composition and Vatapi. So this composition is called Baja Mahe Sri Vinayakam in the Ragam Hamsadvani set to Aditala, composed by Tulasi.
Hello.
Wow, it's such an awesome performance of the song. I could truly hear the passion in your playing, Anna. Such a tremendous job. Awesome job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anna, how many hours do you practice to attain this perfection? And how does your practice look like? Is there a certain process that you follow?
So in terms of practice, I try my very best to, practice around 1 to 2 hours a day. But, as life gets more, more challenging courses and school gets tougher and other responsibilities come up, slowly the practice does kind of decrease. But one of the best things that I've done to keep myself in check is start by trying to teach someone else to play the violin. So I have a little brother named Abhinav, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, when we were all stuck at home, he wanted to learn to play an instrument. And incidentally, since I learned the violin, after a little bit of back and forth, we decided to teach him the violin. So for the past couple of years, I've been slowly teaching him a few things on the violin. So that helps me practice because I get to go back to some of the older pieces that I haven't played in a while. And it helps me keep in touch with those pieces. And it also gives me an opportunity to look at how I actually play the pieces that I know. So how do I use the fingering that I use? And, what specifically do I need to improve and things like that. So that's also a part of my practice routine.
That's awesome. That's very, very amazing. Well, you mentioned that your schoolwork, as your schoolwork goes on, the practice gets a little bit harder. So can you tell us how you are able to manage like rigorous courses, how you managed in high school and you're going to manage in college, your rigorous high school and college courses with your violin practice and your concerts and the practice that comes with that?
Yeah, so I think, again, so as, life progresses, it becomes increasingly difficult to stay on top of the things you want to do, your passions. So what I've learned, especially from, my parents and my guru is if you can make time for something, you will always have the time to do it. So what I do is just try and block off, even if it's just half an hour, to sit down with the violin and just try something, whether it be some sort of manodharmam, or some sort of new pattern, or some sort of, learning a new song, or accompanying, someone on YouTube, just getting some sort of practice in the time that we get. Because, it is extremely difficult for a lot of people to continue their musical journey. So I think, especially as I move on to college, it'll be really important that I schedule in even the smallest practice sessions, just so that I stay on top of my music.
That's very, very true. And your passion is so evident in how you are describing how you practice and making time for music too. So I really, really, really respect you, and that's so awesome. Well, could you play another song for us now?
Absolutely. So, we were mentioning, we were talking about school and how schoolwork is getting in the way of music. But in some ways, it really doesn't. So in school, I am part of the orchestra. I was part of the high school orchestra in my school for 4 years. And so what that gave me was an interesting exposure to the Western classical violin style, not just the posture and the technique, but also the music itself. And I've, tried to make it kind of a mission to, see how we can fuse both the Indian style and the Western style in various pieces. And so very recently, I tried to incorporate this fusion aesthetic into a very popular Tyagaraja Kriti, composed in Nalinakanti, Manavyala Kincharadate. So I'll try and play this song for everyone today.
అబ్బా చాలా అద్భుతంగా మధురంగా వాయించారన్న. You played so well, and the precision in your playing, I can hear all the different gamakams and each and every note crystal clear. It's such an amazing job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, Anna, you did mention that you did orchestra for 4 years. Well, when you're playing Indian music and Carnatic music and Western music, how do you not get confused between the two? What are the differences between the two styles that you've noticed?
Good question. So Indian classical music and Carnatic, the Carnatic style especially, we use a lot of what we call gamakams, right? So that is the very subtle movement of the notes in a particular way that affects how they sound. And we use different combinations of gamakams in different ragams, and that gives the raga bhava or the flavor of each ragam. What I've noticed from playing Western classical music is there is a lot more emphasis on bowing techniques. So a couple would be, for example, staccato, where your bow moves a little bit more. It's a rigid bow stroke. Or you have legato, which is a very fluid bow stroke. And there are plenty of others. And what that leads to is you can actually mix and match both the gamakam-oriented, Carnatic music and the multitude of bow strokes that we have in Western classical to create what we kind of envision as this fusion style. So when I take, for example, this piece, Manavyala Kinchara, there are a lot of ways to make it sound a little bit more Western. And one of the ways I did that is by incorporating a lot of fast bow strokes that we don't really see in Carnatic music. So being part of orchestra, it's a very, very eye-opening experience, and it really helps you kind of think about new ideas and how to take, pieces that, our great Trinity composers and many other composers have taken and try and modernize them in a way or bring them into kind of a new era.
That is truly so interesting. And I also noticed kind of the same differences and similarities when I'm doing Carnatic music, singing and choir as well. So that is very interesting. Yes. Well, do you have any one raga that you like a lot? And if you do, can you elaborate on what you like about it and what your favorite composition is in that raga?
I think, so in terms of ragams, I think every day it's a new favorite ragam for me. So, in our process of learning, we discover new ragams and, we play a lot of one ragam. And so every day it just becomes different. But I guess at the moment I can say, I'm really, becoming more and more fond of Shankarabharanam. There's a lot of subtlety in the notes of Shankarabharanam because, to a Western audience, Shankarabharanam is just a normal major scale where all the notes are quite high. It sounds pretty happy. But when you put in all of our gamakams and, you play songs like Saroja Dallanetri, or the Varnam, the Atatala Varnam, you can see there's a lot of subtlety that you need to incorporate in terms of gamakams and in terms of the pace of the ragam. And when you play Alapane, for example, it's really, really beautiful to listen to Shankarabharanam. And there's so many ideas that, maestros like Lagudi Jayaraman sir and so many others have incorporated into their, singing and playing.
I definitely agree. There's so many aspects of Shankarabharanam that the world doesn't usually look at. So definitely, it's very, very true.
Yes.
So now can you can you play another song for us?
Sure. So another very famous Trinity composer is Srisamhita. So he is the oldest of the Trinity, and not a lot of musicians get to play many of his compositions as much as they do Muthuswami Dikshitar or Sri Tyagaraja. But even Shyama-Shastri has some wonderful gems that a lot of us know about. And one of them, I think, really defined the ragam Ananda Bhairavi when that composition, was made. And that composition is, of course, Marivere Gati in Ananda Bhairavi and set to Mr. Chapatalam. And it really, the usage of many notes and a lot of the Anyaswarams that Sri Shyama-Shastri used They were extremely beautiful to listen to, and they kind of defined the ragam for us. So I'll play this song for everyone.
Wow, truly awesome, super amazing, tremendous job. I don't have, I'm just out of words.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Anna, I have a question. So you mentioned that you do a lot of concerts and you played for My Guru Sangeetam as well. So how are you able to play for so long without getting tired? I know practice comes into play, but besides practice, is there anything else that you do that helps you?
I think the most important thing in terms of music is just embracing it. If you can embrace the music that not only that you make, but others make, it becomes very easy to just kind of go with the flow. You can understand what they're singing better and they can, help you out. You can help them out. And so when you're sitting down for, full-length concert, it becomes very easier, I would say, not easy by any means, but easier to interact with the audience, interact with the musicians, and kind of just have fun on stage. And those 2 hours or 3 hours that you may play for, they just kind of fly by when you embrace the music and you enjoy what's going on stage.
That's very, very true. And I definitely see that passion when you play. And so it's truly amazing.
Thank you so much.
So, Anna, could you tell us about who are your inspiring personalities in Carnatic music? Who do you look up to, and whose songs do you listen to, I guess, and whose songs would you like to play? And just who are your inspiring personalities?
So the violin was adopted for Carnatic music by Muthuswami Dikshitar's brother, I believe. And I think it was an extremely important, it's now become a very important part of the Carnatic music instrumental, I would say, ensemble, if you will. Along with the mridangam and tampura, which sets the shruti. And of course, now a lot of people are trying to incorporate tabla, along with the ghanjira, ghatam, and so many other instruments. Of course, the veena. And what the violin has that a lot of other instruments don't is you have an infinite space on the violin to play any note that you want. And that's kind of a double-edged sword, if you will. On the one hand, it means that, any note that you want to play, you can play. There are no frets. There are no limitations. But on the other hand, it becomes extremely difficult to play the right notes because you have to hit the same place every time. And so throughout the history of Carnatic music, we've seen, I guess, a trinity of violin maestros that have really delved into the violin and brought out a lot of interesting nuances in the violin. So I mentioned Sri Lalgudi Jayaraman, sir. He's a wonderful violinist. I love to listen to his, recordings. But also Sri M.S. Gopalakrishnan, sir. He's actually from my own state of Kerala. He was born there. And I love listening to a lot of the fast phrases and fast fingering that he does on his violin. And it's very, very cool to listen to his recordings. And of course, Sri T.N. Krishnan sir is also known for his, melting alapanes in various ragams. In fact, the Anandamayi that I played is partly inspired by, Sri T.N. Krishnan sir's rendition of Marive, which has been played so many times on YouTube. And so those are just some of my, favorite things about, these violinists. And, these are kind of the inspiring personalities that have driven me forward in my, violin journey.
That's very, very nice. Anna, besides violin, do you have any other hobbies or, sort of just things you do in your free time that you also enjoy?
So violin does take up a lot of that is my main hobby, if you will. But, when I get other times, I love to just hang out with my friends, and we have a lot of, interests. I'm very interested into, technology, and, I'm looking to be an engineer in the future. So I'm very interested in, learning about how a lot of the technology around us works, And that's kind of interesting to me. I've also, learned to solve the Rubik's Cube. So that was a kind of fun experiment that I tried out. And so, that's something when I get, a little bit of free time, I like to, play around with the cube and see if I can, solve it faster, things like that.
Wow, that's truly amazing. That's very, very inspiring. I mean, to all of us in music, definitely. It shows that we can do music and we can also pursue other things, and it's great. That's amazing.
Thank you.
What are your goals for the long term for music or just in general, and maybe for the violin as well? So, do you have any goals in the future that you're looking toward?
The most important goal, I think, that I set for myself is just don't ever stop, playing music and loving music. And that's a really important thing to say, now more than ever before, because, we are now in such a very complicated world. We have so many things going on, there's so many things that are on people's minds. And I think the healing qualities of music to just bring peace to people and, let them, enjoy, music and just kind of enjoy their life a little bit more, just kind of take a break from the reality of the world is, I think, super, super important. And so, regardless of, whatever else I do, I hope to keep on playing music and enjoying music with other people, and just learning more. And in terms of like a concrete goal, I guess, I hope to start, some sort of music school. That'd be wonderful. And, teach some students. That would be a wonderful experience. But also kind of, see where else can we take Carnatic music? Can we delve more into kind of Western aspects, but can we also go, multicultural, styles of music? How can we incorporate them? What are the differences? What are the similarities? How can we merge all the fields of music and bring together something that not only people can enjoy, but people can appreciate for, people, showcasing their talent and, just kind of putting themselves out there. So, that's kind of like a kind of small goal that I have with me that I, hope to just kind of push forward into my future.
Those are very, very, very noble and inspiring aspirations. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for coming to the show. I wish you best of luck on all of your endeavors. So to conclude, can you play one more song for us?
Absolutely. So before I do, I just wanted to thank you, Samhita, for inviting me onto the with you. And this is the first time I've done, a radio show, but it's been a wonderful experience. Loved sharing some insights and getting some feedback from you. And it's been a wonderful experience so far. And so to kind of highlight, I guess, my passion for just having fun with music, I want to finish with a tilana. So I do play for a lot of dance productions as well, along with, the multitude of concerts that, Houston has been fortunate to give me as opportunities. And, dance performances, usually end with a tilana. And these tilanas are usually very peppy pieces that have a lot of rhythmic elements in them. And for me, they're one of my very, prized, I guess I would say, compositions that I've learned because they're so much fun and they're so bright and, they're extremely, you can interact with the musicians on stage and just really have fun with them. So I want to play a very special tilana that I've played in the raga Kadana Kuduhalam, composed by the genius Dr. M. Balamurali Krishna sir. He is a wonderful, wonderful composer. And I found that this tilana of his is so very, bright and peppy. And he's taken the ragam itself into a different dimension with this tilana. So I just want to showcase that for everyone today. And just to conclude, again, thank you so much for having me on the show. And I hope you enjoy this tilana.
Absolutely amazing, especially the fast parts. Those were my favorite parts. So good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And now one last question to all of the aspiring violinists and Carnatic musicians. What is your message?
So to all of the youngsters learning music out there, again, I am no, virtuoso, I'm no maestro. I'm just a student just like you. So all I have to tell you is don't ever give up. Don't ever look at the violin and say, it's too hard for me. Don't ever look at the violin and think it's too complicated for you. It makes me, someone that I'm not, because music is in all of us. I think my message for all of you is know that music is in you. It's always with you. And once you start learning it, it'll always, always be with you. Whenever you are tired or hopeless or you're angry, whatever it may be, music is always there to support you and keep you on the right track. So all of the youngsters learning violin, vocal, mridangam, whatever it may be, any instrument, just never give up and keep playing, keep learning, keep practicing, and you will all do a wonderful job and become great musicians in the modern era today.
That is so, so true. Thank you so much, Pranav, for sharing your message. And thank you so much for coming to our show today, despite your busy schedule. I know that, you are very, very busy. And so thank you so much for coming today. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Samhita, for having me on the show. It's been a wonderful experience. And again, wish you as well success in your future endeavors as well in music and in school. Exciting time for you as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pranav. అందరూ విన్నారు కదండి మంచి మంచి మాటలు మీరు వింటున్నారు ప్రవాసాంధ్రుల గుండె చప్పుడు తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో. అమృతం కార్యక్రమం వింటున్న శ్రోతలందరికీ పాల్గొన్న వారందరికీ చాలా చాలా ధన్యవాదాలు. మీ మాటలతో సమయం చాలా తొందరగా గడిచిపోయింది. మా అమృతం కార్యక్రమానికి వచ్చి మీ పాటలతో, కీర్తనలతో, గీతాలతో ఎన్నో మంచి విషయాలు మా శ్రోతలతో పంచుకున్నందుకు చాలా ధన్యవాదాలు. వినిపించు ప్రవాసాంధ్రుల గుండె చప్పుడు మీ తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో. వింటూ ఉండండి మన తరువాత కార్యక్రమం. సెలవా మరి, మీ ఆర్జే సంహిత.